Hello there, Aries. My name's Frankie. I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient medium, and an empath. This reading's going to be for Aries for January of 2021, beginning of the year. Happy New Year's. To everybody who's new out there, I pull 4 cards for the month. We use the bottom card on the deck like for an overall view of the month, and we'll pull angel card at the end of the reading, hopefully to bring everything together for us. Now, I am an empath, so I have a weird speech pattern. I speak as if I'm you. So that makes all you Aries named Frankie, I suppose, for the time of the reading. Look at your moon sign and your rising sign. You'll get a way more comprehensive view of the month. And I don't think that these cards will go week by week. I think they're going to blend in and out throughout the month, like an overall view for the month. Now, we have good words this month. They're healing, discernment, creativity, abundance, and strength. I believe our discernment word here is coming up with our second card, because our card here on the bottom of the deck is the King of Cups, and that's like excellent for us. I can't even believe we actually got this right off the bat, because it's a good card. I know we're fire, this is water, but still you have to think about it's a king. So it's extremely mature energy, emotional energy that is extremely mature. Now, the King of Cups, look at the crown on his head. He has like a bland looking crown. That means he stands beside. He doesn't lord over. So it's going to be male or female, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Really mature, emotionally immature individual. This is somebody who'd be very kindly disposed towards us, that would like us. It could be our own father. It could be someone that we're in love with, with a water sign. And for men, a lot of times the King of Cups coming up is the woman that you love in your life, or it represents the woman that you love in your life. And that's just excellent, because no matter what, they're totally, utterly trustworthy. That's the thing that makes this energy so important. They'd stand beside us when we need them. So it's the energy of someone that will stand beside us when we truly, truly need them. I think it's a man of knowledge, someone who's very cultured, very creative, maybe likes the arts, because these are emotional energies. So Cups energy would usually be involved in some kind of creative endeavor. So if it's not a person in our lives, for some of us it may not be. It'll be a situation in our lives that's really, really favorable to us, especially if it's a situation around something that may have to do with like something creative, or something that was some type of maybe a new beginning, something that was going to be healing for us. And I was saying healing for us because of our next card coming up here. So once again, we're getting this cup energy, or emotional energy. This is the 8 of Cups. And that's a situation where usually the only recourse is to walk away from the situation, turn our back on it, because it seems to be go in a different direction, or turn our back on it because we've tried everything we can to get this situation to work out, and sometimes it's just not all that important to us anymore. So we're going to walk away from it just because it's just not that important to us, or because all these cups, they're all neatly stacked, they're full, and it's like, who cares? I don't want it anymore. Things we would be hoping things could have been different, but we would know that they're not. So it would be time to cut our losses and, let it go, get it out of the situation in our lives that's failed, even despite our very best efforts, despite it. Now that's wise use of discernment, wise use of healing, and wise use of the strength that King of Cups energy is bringing into it, in towards us, actually. But, you know, sadly, though, a lot of times this is something to do with like some kind of a love relationship that reached such a state of deterioration that it's just like, this isn't worth my energy, my time, my patience, however you want to put it, anymore. And it's just wearing me down. So it's just not where I need to be any longer in my life, or where I want or choose to be in my life any longer, you know. So we're going to use our discernment in order to help ourselves heal. And that will become our greatest strength this month. And I'm saying it in that way because we have another card here that shows that we may need to do that. Sometimes that's real simple. Let's say the kids came home from college, or a kid came home from college and they're going back home. Or we had company at Christmas and maybe they stayed longer through the holidays till New Year's and they're leaving now, you know, or after New Year's, and they're deciding to leave. But whatever it is, it's actually, well, if you have family around too long, sometimes it's like, okay, I'm done now. You can go home. I'm tired of washing sheets and towels, and you know what I mean. It was fun while it lasted type energy for everybody that celebrates the holidays, but now kind of wore out, you know, or moving on with my life is what I need to be doing, because our next card here is movement. It's the Chariot card, which that cracked me up when I saw it. I thought, walking away from something and moving towards something, but very, very fast. So when you get the Chariot card, the transition is very fast. We're holding things together, you know, very successfully actually with that. And that would be part of our strength, uniting opposite energies, because this is a black horse and a white horse, and being very, very totally involved in some type of situation or a new situation. And we're happily involved with it, feeling together with ourselves, able to accomplish any kind of task at hand and attuned to the rhythm of how things are moving and keeping up with all the changes that are happening in our, maybe in our jobs, because of one of the next cards that's coming up here, perhaps in our job, or in a relationship, or in something that's going on in our career or our community. But we're sensitive, very highly intuitive and sensitive to like the little minor adjustments that we'd have to be making all the time, basically, to keep things going right, keep things moving along. Wise use of our creativity, very wise use of it, so that everything's flowing in a manner or a form that we need it to flow in. And that's going to be really important, especially with this next card, and especially if it has to do with something maybe about work or some type of a distress or a loss that's coming up or coming on, or we're experiencing this month, because now we have the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords energy tells me sometimes pick the battle that you're going to fight. Pick the battle, because this is a double-edged sword. This is air energy. So the sword is double-edged because it's one of defeat, misfortune, betrayal on one side of it. And on the other is that learning, that sense of learning and accepting like boundaries in our lives that we have to face, you know, or limitations that are unavoidable, or the energy of someone having disappointed us terribly, but then maybe we were expecting way too much of them because we knew who they were or what was going on ahead of time, and we just thought, oh, eventually they're going to fall into line. It's that type of energy. So all the fives are about adjusting, and they're about change, so it's a period of adjusting to some kind of change that was brought on by some kind of a loss or distress or something like that, which could have came along with that Eight of Cups energetics. So it's an uncomfortable process, but it's necessary process that we all have to go through, because change part of life. And that's the end of the story. Change is part of it. So, this change itself is something that's difficult kind of for us to make. But I think whatever's being challenged, or calling for change, whether it's our lifestyle or like even our philosophy, our inner beliefs about ourselves, this is the time when we have to change them, because this is air energy. It's thoughts that are going on in our mind. So it's time to change them and to bring those changes into our daily life so that we can experience them and we can use them in a proper type of a manner. Because I think we're going to have this fresh start after we turn our backs on whatever, how do I want to say this? Turn our backs on whatever portion of our lives are not working for us right now. Because next we have this High Priestess energy. And this tells me we absolutely know intuitively what is not working in our lives and where we need to stand up for something and where we should walk away. So it's basically that energy. Standing up with that Five of Swords, the fight was worth it. Walking away if it isn't really worth it. So High Priestess energy is us being called towards or having, like the inner world, our spiritual light, where, our intuition starts to develop and gets high, and attuning to the invisible sources that are all around us. We'd be like in this type of position where we would feel like we needed to remove ourselves, like from everything, to go deeper into what is it we know within ourselves that will make this situation right for us. Is it something worth fighting for, or is it something kind of with the other cards, something worth walking away from? What isn't suiting me anymore? But it also shows that it's our intuition inside of us that's going to show us exactly what to stand for, I believe, and exactly what it is that maybe perhaps we should be moving away from or walking away from, that's going to contribute to our abundance and to our healing, And it takes great strength sometimes and great internal guidance in order to make those decisions or choices about which way it is that we're basically going to take our lives. And this is the beginning of the year. So it's telling us just, figure it out. If it's too much, stop where I am, decide what it is I'm going to stand up for, what is going to work for me or my healing, what's my discernment telling me, and then leave whatever is inappropriate, because change happens no matter whether we want it to or not, and move towards what is more suitable for me in the future. I don't know, because I'm doing these in December, what January is going to look like, yet, but it's been a rough year. and no one can tell us any different, you know? Really, for all of us, because it's global. Our card is let your past go. I don't think you can make up the angel cards. It says, this burden you are carrying, the burden of carrying your past around. Can't read it in here today. The burden of carrying your past around has made you weary, dear one. It's time to set the burden down, keep only the lessons and the love, and leave everything else behind. You don't want it and you don't need it, and now it's gone. That's interesting, especially with that 8 of Cups energy in there. It kind of goes right along with it. So I think a lot of us look at your moon sign and your rising sign. You get a more comprehensive view of the month. But I still think that for the great majority of us, there's something that's been holding us back, and we really don't need it or want it anymore. So it says you receive this card because your thoughts and feelings about the past are holding you back. You're repeating a pattern because of unfinished emotions from your past. This card is a sign to forgive and move on, to stop the painful patterns. Doesn't mean you need to be with the person you've forgiven. Simply means that you've let go of the toxic feelings in exchange for peace. Approach a new situation or relationship with positive expectations. Avoid routines. Speak to a counselor or support group. Forgive those who hurt you. Forgive yourself. The worst is now behind you. Keep your thoughts about this situation high and keep them bright. That's an excellent message. Well, Aries, that's our reading for this month. I want to tell you all thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and for your comments. I read each and every one of them. I really appreciate them. If anybody wants to know more about me, or if you just want to go neb about me, all the information's down below the screen in the About section over at the website. And over at the website are 2 short videos, one about the prayer class I put out there for you guys, and the other one is about the suture classes that are up there for you. The prayer class is 2.5 hours long. There's a video that explains it. Sutures are simple thought forms you put in a meditation. Takes 5 minutes a day, and it enhances the clear perceptions dramatically. They're over at the website. So for all of you that I've been talking to on here for 4 whole years, and everybody I've met through 32 years of doing this work, I want to tell you all, it's an honor, privilege, and a pleasure to serve you. Hopefully, I will see you back here maybe next month. Bye-bye.